Hello, everyone. I'm Sandy Anastasi. I'm a psychic channel and astrologer and an intuitive life coach. And I'm here right now with your tarot tip number 3. This tip is all about how to choose your tarot deck. You may already have chosen your tarot deck and you're enjoying it. Even if you have, though, I'm sure you're going to pick up a few more pointers here. So continue to read or listen in. First of all, let's talk about how to choose your deck. A traditional deck has 78 cards in it, so stick with a 78 card deck. If you want to read with fewer cards, choose to read with just the minor arcana, which is 56 cards in that deck, or the major arcana, which would be 22 cards, part of that 78 card deck. Together, when you add both the minor and the major arcana, all of those cards comprise the traditional 78 card deck. You can also read with a regular playing card deck that has 52 cards and apply the traditional tarot card meanings to those cards, minus the 4 pages, okay? So when you're reading with a 52 card playing deck, you're basically reading with the minor arcana in the tarot deck, or the traditional tarot deck, minus the pages. Now, when you do that, like I said, you're essentially reading the minor arcana, and hearts become cups, spades become swords, clubs become wands, and diamonds become pentacles. I've found over the years that some people are a little bit uncomfortable with the pictures on the tarot. So if you should encounter that, just switch over to a regular playing card deck. It's less intimidating to some people. Now, back to the tarot. Most traditional tarot decks have pictures that are loosely based upon the Rider-Waite tarot deck, which was carefully researched in an attempt to regain the universal meanings of the first tarot decks, whose origins are lost in time and only open to conjecture nowadays. When you choose one of them to read with, you're reading with a deck that your unconscious mind instinctively recognizes and responds to. Decks that have fewer or greater numbers of cards are not based on the traditional tarot. You may like the pictures and want to collect them, or if you're very attracted to them, you may want to use the little book they usually come with as a guide to read just for yourself. But traditional meanings will not apply to those decks. Many tarot decks available today are based purely on artists' conceptions. They're often unique and very, very beautiful. But you should be aware that you cannot apply traditional meanings when reading with them. And you also will be psyching into the artist that created them as you attempt to read with them. Personally, I don't use those decks for that reason to read with. I don't need to add someone else's emotional or mental issues or karmic problems to my own. I do own some of those decks, but I only collect them as art. There are also a very few decks available that do not correspond to the traditional meanings, but may still be used to read for yourself. And those decks are decks that have been carefully researched and employ symbols that are universal symbols too, just like the traditional decks of 78 cards do. Examples would be the Arthurian Tarot, that's based on the legend of Camelot and King Arthur, and the Crowley deck, that is based upon the deep research of Aleister Crowley into the mystical traditions of many cultures. That Crowley deck's often referred to as the Thoth, Thoth deck. Again, although it has 78 cards, it is not based in the traditional tarot cards at all. It has its own symbolism. Now, you should also buy your tarot deck yourself, and you should make your choice yourself. Do not use a used tarot deck, my friends, even if that deck was passed down to you from someone you love. You really don't want to become that person, do you? When you learn to read the tarot, you're also learning to open yourself psychically. So be sure to start reading with a brand new deck, one that you've chosen for yourself. Have a wonderful time picking out your tarot deck, and come back and listen to more tarot tips because I've got a whole lot more to share with you. I'm Sandy Anastasi. Visit me on my website, www.sandyanastasi.com. You might even be interested in my tarot book, tarot courses, VIP community with its tarot classes that are audio downloadables. There's a whole lot of stuff on my website to take a look at. If you haven't been there yet, check it out. www.sandyanastasi.com. Thanks. Have fun.